Am I the a-hole for refusing to give my college fund to my nephew after my sister found out about it?
Hello, gorgeous! My name is Gia Garcia. If you like all things elegant, subscribe, click the bell, tell all your friends, watch it several thousand times. It's 100% free. I believe in elegance with a personality, not these cookie cutter, you should wear this, you should do that. We're going to look at different scenarios, how to react to them in a way that everybody walks away feeling great. The essence of etiquette is reading the room, making sure people are feeling comfortable, absolutely everyone, and still being gracious and polished at the same time.
Hi! For the past 6 years, I've been working on different jobs in my whole of a country in order to save up and get a real education and proper job later. My parents were always promising to pay for it, but they never did. I know how that feels. It's not a great feeling. At some point, I managed to get a scholarship and I used saved money for housing and other bills and spendings. I have a sister and she has a son. She was always complaining how no one ever helped her with money, just like me, but unlike her, I wasn't mentioning it that much. I have never mentioned the fund, but my parents have accidentally revealed it to the sister at the latest family gathering. Then my sister immediately turns to me and asks to donate the remaining money to her and her child, saying I could move back in with my parents. My parents agree with her because family helps family. I obviously refused because I have been saving up for years now and I'm going to need it. Then my sister and parents just turned red, accusing me of being a selfish person. I quickly fled the family gathering without asking other family members what do they think about it, but I really don't know if I'm doing something incorrect or their reaction was the wrong. It sounds like this person is from a non-native English-speaking country, it's possible. Let's go down to the comments first before we assess whether they are the a-hole or not. Let me know in the comments below what you think so far before I add my 2 cents and before other people in the comments add their 2 cents. I'd love to know. Strippin' Chicken said, I would stop calling it a college fund because it really sounds like it's your life savings. They want you to give up all of your hard-earned life savings to help them out. Not the a-hole. They are the a-hole. It would have been fine for them to ask for some help, but to demand all of your savings is incredibly selfish. If family is supposed to help family, why are they trying to hurt you? I think money is a very touchy subject unless you guys openly talk about it. And there's something I've learned from people who have been in the military who told me about this. When you're on a march, say for example, there's this march the RAF does from a part of England to Nijmegen, so to the Netherlands. And it's a 4-day march. You have to take Imodium to, I think it's Imodium, so that you don't use the bathroom, you don't have the need to do it, and then to undo that you eat a bunch of fruit at the end of the march. But you're essentially marching, walking, hiking for 4 days straight, and everyone's in pain in their boots, and they're blistered, they're injured everywhere because they're lifting a ruck and helping each other out and just getting through the march. One person started complaining and the captain of the group absolutely demolished them when they said, don't you think all of us are feeling the hurt? Why do you feel special that you should complain? We all feel the same thing. You don't have to rub it in our faces. You don't have to remind us of our pain. It essentially, stress begets stress. Same thing for other energy, other feelings. Positivity begets positivity. Calmness breeds calmness. I believe that if you are going through a struggle, that it's not something you bring to light involuntarily or voluntarily, and it's not something you mention. It's not very becoming to complain about your situation unless someone asks and they really try to pry and say, oh, you must be feeling this way, and you say, no, actually I know I'm gonna get past it. So it's good to not have the negative thought in the first place. That is very ladylike, it's very gentlemanly, however you want to put it. It's a very elegant thing to do, to not complain about your situation and look at the silver lining, because there was a lifetime study done that when you share your stress, other people, their lifespan literally gets shorter because it engrosses their mind as well to have the cortisol rushing through their body. So don't do that. Here's my 2 cents. I don't think that you are in the wrong because it's not something that you mentioned. I believe it was your parent. And also, if someone has a child, it's their responsibility. I feel like that's something you should never complain about. You know that you are in charge, that whatever the outcome is, financially speaking, for your child, that's 100% your doing. You need to be prepared. Sometimes people are not prepared and they own up to it anyway. They do the task, they do the job. For example, my parents were like this, where I would be out with friends very late or just out with friends. Sometimes my girlfriends wanted to sleep over, but I was not allowed to sleep over. And my parents always said, call us and we'll pick you up, even if it's 2 a.m., if it's midnight. My parents always did that. I would call them from a friend's phone because I didn't have a cell phone. I was a kid. And they would always take full responsibility of me. They would dress up, get in the car, and sometimes my mom would be in a robe but have like something underneath that's warm, but she's just in mom pickup mode. And they would always not say anything, just drive me home, make sure that I'm safe, that they always have accountability of me. As a parent, it's your responsibility to take care of your children, not another family members. I hate asking people for things in the first place. I hate when people know about my problems in the first place. I'm very private personally, but if people know about my problems, it's something usually that we'll laugh at. We'll make a joke of it if it does come to light, because I trust my friends. And if they ask, I'm going to tell them what's up. I'm going to be authentic with them. I'm not going to say, oh, we have no problems. I'll say, I wish things were better. And with certain friends, you can air out every once in a while when things are really bad. Those are the most generous moments we have as humans, when we are listening to someone else's plight. But it sounds like this person is entitled to what you worked hard for, especially the fact that they both never had a steady financial situation when it came to paying for their own way, whether it's school, a trade school, a university, or just living expenses in general. When people feel entitled to other people's money, that's the worst feeling in the world for me, because everybody has problems. I read a statistic, this was a few years ago, so I think things have changed now. Even in the United States, not a lot of people have $2,000 to their name. Not a lot of people have retirement. A majority of people are working paycheck to paycheck, and sometimes just giving everything they have to their family, to their children, making sure that they're fine, and then putting their needs last. So I know even parents who are doing very, very well, they will neglect themselves, not fully neglect themselves, but they will take care of their kids first and give them all the luxuries first, give their husband or their wife all the luxuries first, and then every now and again they get gifted like a Van Cleef necklace or something like this that's really luxurious, really stunning, and they can afford it. But when you are making your own way, I feel like your parents have zero rights, or just anybody who hasn't worked for that money, who doesn't understand how hard you worked for it, who hasn't worked for it, because people will see the results. They won't see the every little day that you wake up early to show up for work, to take a long commute. You said you live in a country that it's a bit difficult to find different jobs, and your parents obviously had the intention of taking care of you. So they said they were always promising for it, but they never did, meaning paying for a real education, meaning paying for a career. It sounds like what you're describing, like a white collar job, whether you want to work in an office or work in a hospital. Those take a lot of money and time and training and education. A lot of, depending, no matter where you are, whether school is free or not, after a certain point school stops being free. Even if you're in a socialist country, you have to pass all of the tests with flying colors and do a decent job to be above average and prove yourself still. Even if your education is paid for, that is still not easy. There's a lot of pressure. I can imagine being a student, it still sounds like you're just working, you're grinding really, really hard. I don't think you're wrong to flee the family gathering. I think you're not the a-hole for this one verdict, because you fled the family gathering, you're walking away from a bad situation, and sometimes people who are taking from you what you cannot give, those are the worst people that you can have around in your life. I think don't cut off your family. I don't believe in burning bridges, and don't block them. Let them see your success. Let them see that you're doing well, because you worked hard for that. You're self-made. And sorry, I'm pointing so much. I used to have people like this in my life where they say, you're not very much, you're not this, you're not that, you're not good enough. But then I'm doing well for myself, and I don't really respect where their life is. They're criticizing me nonstop, but I don't even respect their day-to-day life, how their situation is. And I think they're just projecting that their life is not so good, so they're trying to make it your fault and then blame you because they're putting the responsibility on you to take care of everyone. And I don't understand why your parents are saying, oh, you should do this for your sister, you should do that for your siblings. Is she the favorite? It's possible. It's one thing to offer a place to stay and say, I have a sofa or an extra guest room for you and your child, and I can help out that way. If you don't have the ability to do that, it sounds like you are working very hard yourself. So when it comes to giving to your family, I feel like if someone offers, it's one thing. If someone is generous in a certain way, if you say, I can help with buying a textbook every semester, or I can help with dropping them off to school. I am the kind of person who, if I'm an aunt, I will do my best, ask permission first, and ask, can I get them a laptop in case they want to get them that gift? I love to spoil everyone around me. If someone wants to be generous, they will be generous. A lot of the times, people offer just what they can and be a person. Those are just my thoughts. I feel like I could talk about this for quite a few hours if I really wanted to. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I want to see what you guys have to say about this. If you want more content like this, subscribe, click the bell, tell all your friends, watch this several thousand times. If you want more etiquette and a deeper dive into how to treat people well, strengthen your relationships, personal to yourself with self-respect, and professional, visit dixonetiquette.com. It's my etiquette course, and I am in the midst of giving it a facelift right now, so get it with the dirt cheap price that it has. Get that locked in and you'll have access to the new and improved version as we're working on it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.